My name is Staff Sgt. Quincy Reynolds. I'm the Innovation Officer here at III Maintenance Battalion, in charge of all the additive manufacturing that happens here at Maintenance Battalion, to include the face masks that are being printed right now. My name is Staff Sgt. Quincy Reynolds. I'm the Innovation Officer here at III Maintenance Battalion, and I am currently supervising all of the additive manufacturing processes here, to include the 3D masks that are being printed. So the process of making the mask will be, your first thing is creating a CAD file. So once you create that CAD file, from there we use a slicer program and we drop the file into that slicer program, put it on the thumb drive, and then we bring it over here to the 3D printers, or to the plastic printers, so that we can start printing it. Right now, the masks are just being distributed to all the Marines across the island. Our focus is just Marines like myself, so that we're able to use these masks in like our day-to-day task. So the reason that we're making these shields is to kind of help free up the supply chain, right? What we want to do is make sure that the supplies that are needed for the first responders are actually there. The biggest thing, is we all know, is the N95. So these shields aren't designed to replace the N95. What it's designed for, and the reason that we're doing it, is just to free up that supply chain, so that when those first responders, your medical personnel, PMO, gate guards, and so forth, when anyone that's going to deal with in high traffic areas, they're able to get the actual N95 mask. So currently right now, the masks are being produced here at GSM, but also over at Miles 36. So it's kind of a combined effort. Once we sit down and we did the prototyping of the mask, and we actually printed off a couple prototypes to see which mask would fit the best, we started off with a full-on production. Right now we have 24 Ender 3 printers that we're using. We have 17 printers here that are running 24 hours a day. And just like I said earlier, Miles 36, they have a handful of printers over there, and they're running 24-hour ops too. So how does creating these shields help us to maintain readiness? Very, very simple. The Marines are able, by us being able to do this, the Marines are still able to operate in their normal day-to-day tasks, right? We come back here, we print out the mask, we distribute the mask, and then the Marines are able to still move in and out of their work areas or workstations, and still do the day-to-day task. So right now, our big main effort is to print the 3D mask, but we're still performing daily tasks. This morning, we actually completed a couple of service requests that was just traditional machining, so the masks allow us to operate at our normal capacity. So the way that these masks increase the force readiness is it helps ease that burden on the supply chain. By us being able to produce these masks and distribute them at a low level, the supply chain is actually able to deal with the big picture, the day-to-day operations, and the full concepts that they need to accomplish. So, man, creating these shields, right, it's a combined effort, and the way that it shows the capabilities that we have to offer is it just shows how fast when we're given a tasker or a problem is identified, that we're able to work against the clock, I will say. This process is amazing because it's not just the Marine Corps that's working on this process, right? We're working with the Innovation Cell located on Kadena Air Force Base with the Air Force. We're also working with our Navy counterparts. So it just shows that when there is a need across all branches of the service, we're able to come together, make a culminating event, and produce an end product in a very, very short time span. So the rapid production in this capability is able to help in different scenarios, just because you no longer have to wait on anyone. Like I said, the big goal of the whole additive manufacturing is not to replace the supply chain, but help ease some of that stress on the supply chain. For instance, here we have a part, or we need a part, and if we're able to 3D print it, you go from maybe a 30-day wait time or a 30+ day wait time to maybe a 24 to 72-hour wait time. And even when it comes to ideas, you think of an idea like maybe not a end product or repair a piece of gear, but maybe just like a test stand, You're able to come up with this idea and say, hey, this is something that could be 3D printed, or this is something that could be made and implemented into my workstation to help ease the workflow, or increase the workflow, I should say. So the feeling that I get from being a part of the COVID-19 response is amazing. because in less than 24 hours, I'm able to see something that has been designed here, something that I've been able to help implement, and it's actually being used. On my day-to-day task, there's a lot of fruits of the labor that come with it, but you don't see that direct task. But with this and these face masks, we're able to see it. I leave my work area and I see the Marines around me wearing a face mask that I had the opportunity to help produce. So it's just a very, very overwhelming feeling, but most definitely a feeling of accomplishment. So these masks actually align extremely well with the Marine Corps' push towards innovation, just because we were able to take an idea and then bring that idea to tuition. So you go from your beginning of actually producing the mask or the frame, and then it was all thought up by Marines. It started from the bottom and it was pushed up, not from the top down to the bottom. So this capability can be used in other scenarios just because you don't have to wait for anyone. You come up with an idea and we're able to take that idea and help you bring that idea to life. So it could be used in several scenarios. You know, you may be missing something as small as maybe a 99-cent washer or something like that, or you could be doing something just on a huge scale, such as the mask. So our normal workload, we're still able to maintain it, just because the process of printing the mask, the printers truly do a majority of the work. The printers do require a lot of man hours, just because we need to physically observe them, make sure that the prints are good. After each print, we still need to like level out the bids and just do the regular maintenance on it. But this is something that we do in our day-to-day task. So the increased workload from 3D printing the mask really hasn't changed the operational tempo here. We still manage personnel, and I have Marines that are still doing the regular shop functions, your subtractive, manufacturing, even down to the small things as bolt extractions, you know, and the other guys are in here and they're maintaining the 3D printers. So the printing process starts with an idea, and then from that idea we use a CAD program and we come up with that idea and we bring it we bring it to life in a CAD file. From there we take and plug it into the 3D printer and hit go and hope for the best. So we received a message from the AMOT, the Additive Manufacturing Operational Cell, and it had a couple different files with some ideas for possible face shield options. From there we took and printed out a couple of those options, tried them on, see what worked best for us, made a couple of revisions to them. Our main goal was to use the least amount of filament possible, and to also to decrease print time. Once we came up with that solution, we were able to start the production of the face mask. And the production of it was pretty simple. Like I said, we created the file and then from there, plugged it into put on a thumb drive, plugged it into the printer and begin the prints. So we received the message from the AMOC, the Additive Manufacturing Cell, and it had a couple different files in it. From there, we kind of collaborated with the other branches here to determine which file was going to work out best for us, or which face shield would work out best for us. From there, we decided, hey, this file requires the least amount of filament and the least amount of print time. From there, we were able to start production of printing the face shields. So my Marine spearheaded this process. I just get to answer the emails. I've been very, very lucky to have the group of Marines with me that I do have that are able to think outside of the box. My Marines are most definitely the true innovators behind this, and they are able to just pull whatever idea it may be, not just the face shield, but just different tasks that we face on a daily, and come up with creative solutions. The Marines have played a huge part with their efforts as far as the COVID-19 and the face shields. The Marines are extremely creative and they're able to act and respond extremely fast. That is the best quality of the Marines that we have here.